How's it going, fam? Let's talk about the Toronto Raptors, because if you want to bring in like analytics and all the numbers, they're seventh in offensive rating, fourth in defensive rating, they're fifth in net rating, sixth in the assist percentage, two in assist rating, two in assist to turnover ratio. Does that really matter? Well, it helps, right? They are 14-5, not to mention 4-0 in the Emirates Cup. They're sitting second in a game and a half as of today behind the Detroit Pistons, and you have many winnable games coming up until the New Year's. You have Charlotte Hornets, you got the Knicks, you got the Blazers, you got the Lakers, you got the Hornets, you got the Celtics, you got the Bucks, you got the Celtics again, you got the Nets, you got the Heat, you got the Wizards, you got the Warriors, and you got the Orlando Magic. And then to end off the year in a bang, you got to play against the Denver Nuggets, which, they're all reasonable games. They're all winnable, honestly. The toughest games are probably going to be between the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Nuggets. Yeah, I can see the Heat being a problem, but I like our chances against the Heat. I even like the chances against the Lakers. The Warriors as well. Literally, it's only the Denver Nuggets, and that's because of Nikola Jokic. Arguably the first, the best player in the NBA. I'm giving it to SGA. But that's very winnable. And that could put us, 25-8 heading into the new year. And that's probably the best year we've ever had since 2017, 2018. DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry in them. That's a long time ago. That just goes to show you how well and just how good that basketball team is operating. Basketball is selfless. They don't care who's the main guy on whatever night is given. A lot of times it's between Ingram, Scotty Barnes, because they run, the Raptors offense. Scotty Barnes, hands down, is the most important player. But they play selfless basketball. They have three guys averaging over 19 points. You got Ingram at 22. You got Barnes at 20. Okay, Barnes at like 19.5, but I'm going to bump it up to 20. And then you got RJ Barrett at 19. Then you have guys like Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley's giving you 15 a night. Obviously not the best shooting percentages, up and down, but he's been playing very well as of late. You got someone like Jakob Poeltl when he's on the court, big help for us. And then the biggest steal of the whole summer, you got Mamu. He's giving you like 10. Him and Jakob both giving you about 10. Like, I know I'm not tripping. Or was the last time we've seen this was like, I'm not saying they're as good, but the last time we've seen this for like 2018, 2019, the Warriors. Yeah, Curry, Durant, Klay Thompson, all averaging over 20 points a game. Like I said, I'm not saying they're the Warriors. I'm not saying those three are as good as these three. The offense is moving and it's translating to wins. It's different if you have three guys, scoring meaningless buckets, but we're 14-5, second best in the East. That's saying something. Darko, the head of the snake, you follow his lead. His energy is there. He's holding his guys accountable, and that's showing on the team. Like, the team, they're communicating. They're not afraid to let somebody else know if they miss defensive assignments. They're laughing, comfortable with who you're playing with on the court, regardless of who's on the court, and that's big. And they pride themselves on defense and working hard and giving effort on defense. A lot of people looked at Brandon Ingram as a straight offensive guy. He's playing defense this year. Literally 1 to 5 plays defense. Then our bench, they play defense. I've heard nothing but good things from videos and things that I've seen of that nature with Darko from his time in OKC, his time in Phoenix, his time in Memphis. And that's all before, the Toronto Raptors, before he became head coach for the Raptors. Like, the past year, whatever it is that Darko's been coaching, he hasn't had the best teams, and the teams that he had previously didn't suit the way he wanted to play. But now you're literally seeing exactly the way he wants to play, and everyone's buying into that system. They're looking like serious buyers this year in the trade deadline, and they can really shake up the league if they go target some. I wouldn't say you target somebody like a John Morant, because that could really change the organization, but you don't know which way it's going to change it. You know what I mean? I feel like the point guard spot, I know a lot of people were not really, not really sold on not even Jamal Shaw. Jamal Shaw's amazing. A lot of people weren't sold on Emmanuel Quickley because the rough start at the beginning, but he spaces the floor for us, and his decision making has become a little bit better. He'll take the transition threes, but just him driving the paint, getting the floaters, the little kickouts, they do help. So I wouldn't say we try to target a point guard. I think they should definitely try to target a big, and a really good big they could target. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but it could definitely make them a dark horse in contending for a championship. And I'm saying this because, like I said, I'm not saying they're these teams, but if they keep it up and they can target a good big and strictly focus on defense, 2004 Pistons or 2011 Dallas, they were both counted. Okay, Dallas was a good team. Pistons, they were a good team. Pistons strictly defense. And I think who scored the most on their team? Was it Richard Hamilton at like 17 a game? A lot of people look at Chauncey Billups as, the leader, which he was. But you got a bunch of guys who prided themselves on defense. Yes, you have Ben Wallace, amazing defender, 4-time defensive player of the year. But Like I said, Raptors get a good big, pride themselves on defense, make some noise. Definitely make it out of the East, right? You have a few tough teams. Detroit's a good team, as much as people don't want to give them credit. The Knicks are just the Knicks. So I feel like they're a good team on paper too, right? It's the Knicks. They're deep. Miami Heat. I don't know what to say about Miami. They're Miami. But I just look at the Raptors when it comes to the trade deadline, because I feel like they could really make it fun, and they could really shake up the lead. Not to mention the bench mob 2.0. You got Jamal Shed. Like I said, you got Mamu. You got CMB, who's a solid rookie. Like, I don't think a lot of people knew about CMB like that, or I don't think they knew what he was going to provide in his rookie season. But this is an amazing guy to have off the bench. You have someone like Grady Dick, who has his highs and lows, but if he could, stepped up a little bit, especially with just his shooting. I feel like they'll be fine. You got Jacoby Walter. I have high praise for him. Jacoby Walter, I feel like, is an amazing player, amazing young player. Jameson Battle, shoot the lights out. And Ochai Abaji, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't like Ochai. Like, he's a young player prospect. He could do certain things, but very, very shaky start to the season. If you want to move him for somebody else, I can see it, but Bench Mob 2.0 is looking fun, man. They bring hustle, defensive pressure, active hands, transition defense. They play that really well. They get back. Like I said, it's just hard work and effort. And like I said, it goes back to 2004 Detroit Pistons, who had Lindsey Hunter, a lot of people don't know. Mike James, a lot of people don't know about. And who? Corliss Williamson. That's just to name a few guys. And a lot of people don't know who those guys are, but active, hungry guys. Defensive pressure, hustle, getting back. That's on top of their following their starting five, who's bringing the pressure. And like I said, they're not exactly the 2004 Detroit Pistons. I'm not saying that, but the team as a whole, very stacked and can't complain. Like I said earlier, someone to target, like few guys I feel we could target. Anthony Davis, obviously. A lot of people are skeptical because you don't know if he's going to be hurt. You don't know if he's going to play. You don't want someone that, you don't want to invest in somebody. Obviously, he's not the youngest, but you don't want to invest in somebody that's not going to play games, right? You don't want to give up RJ Barrett and somebody that's not going to play games, especially if you're trying to win within the next few years. Like, Scottie Barnes is still young. Ingram's still young. Everyone on their team is we're a fairly young team. So I don't feel like Anthony Davis is. I feel like he is a piece and get us over the hump or get the Raptors over the hump, but I don't feel like it's a piece that try to target right away. Unless you had a bunch of older guys and your window was closing, I don't feel like you need to do that. Someone that I do like though, the Cavs are a good team. I even forgot to mention the Cavs earlier, but the Cavs are a good team. But target Jared Allen. Jakob Portal's nice. Don't get me wrong. I like Jakob when he's on the court. Amazing player. But someone like Jared Allen, straight, like, his defense is good. He can rebound, can improve a little bit better. But like, I feel like depending on the team he has, he'll. I just feel like Jared Allen and Mobley, and they just don't correlate as well as I feel like if Jared Allen was on the Raptors. Imagine that. Obviously you have to give up somebody, but I'm not an advocate of trading RJ, but a Jared Allen pickup would be amazing. Like, you have quickly, who you slot in? Jacoby Walter. Then you have Ingram, Scottie Barnes, Jared Allen. In the East especially, like, I know in the West you got, your Nuggets, you got OKC. OKC's like light years ahead of a lot of teams, but you have a center like that can bang with a lot of other centers, and he's mobile enough to, guard pick and rolls properly and keep up. I'm not going to say keep up all guards, but, he's not flat-footed. I feel like Jared Allen's probably the best pickup we could see. Would the Cavs trade Jared Allen? Possibly. Would they trade him to the Raptors? We don't know, but I feel like if Raptors can get a big like that, keep an eye out for them. It's going to be fun to see what they do moving forward. I'm excited to watch literally every Raptors game this season. Every game that comes on, I watch it. Yeah, man, this is as much as fun. I watch so many Raptors games, even when they're losing, but I haven't had this much fun watching a Raptors game since like 2019. I'm just saying that because that's the championship year with Kawhi. But yeah, let me guys know what you guys think. Who do you think some of the Raptors should target? What do you think their ceiling is for this year? What do you think is going to happen? Any trade ideas you guys could think of right down in the comment below? Maybe I'll talk about them on the next episode. And hope you guys liked the video. Peace.